Live view. The image that the camera sees can be displayed and monitored on the back LCD monitor instead of through the viewfinder. Sometimes there will be a switch near the viewfinder that needs to be set in order to activate this mode. Once activated, simply focus the lens and then take the image. Shooting tips. Landscape tips. Landscape shooting requires a wide-angle or very wide-angle lens. Everything in the scene, objects that are close and objects that are far, will be captured in focus. If the camera has a landscape mode, use it. This mode will enhance the blues and greens so as to provide a crisp landscape image. Close-up tips. Shooting close-ups involve shooting small objects such as flowers and bugs. The goal of this shooting style is to increase the apparent size of the object while also showing all the miniature detail not regularly visible. Most likely, this shooting style will require the use of a macro lens. However, there are some lenses which have a small minimum focusing distance, and this allows the lens to focus to objects right in front of the lens. Moving object tips. Shooting moving objects involves capturing sports or other high-intensity action. Capturing the right moment or most cinematic moment in time from a sequence of motions requires quick reflexes and a fast reaction time. A way to gain an advantage is to simply shoot continuously. Start by pressing the shutter button halfway. This camera will focus and the F point will be fixed. The camera will indicate if focus is being achieved or if it is not, either through a color or a beeping sound indicator. Provided that focus is achieved, simply wait for the right moment and press the shutter button completely to take the photo. Night portrait tips. First, attach a speed light. Second, find a beautiful and bright night background scene, such as a well-lit city background. Third, use a tripod to avoid blurry motions. And fourth, use a wide-angle lens to obtain a panoramic view. Portrait tips. Shooting portraits involves blurring the background a bit, and this helps differentiate the foreground subject from the background. It also beautifies the subject by making the hair seem soft and skin tones seem smooth. However, relying on electronic processing to achieve a great portrait is not necessary. Simply placing the subject at a greater distance from the background will increase the chance of creating a beautiful background blur effect. The further the subject is from the background, the more of a blur the background will appear to be. Also, do not use a wide-angle lens. Look for narrower lens. If you have a telephoto zoom lens, use the telephoto end to capture the portrait. Focusing the lens manually. Focusing is simply a matter of ensuring that the lens shooting mode switch is set to the manual focus or MF position. Then it is a matter of turning the focus ring until the optimum point of focus is reached for the image. For a more precise focus, zoom in, turn the focus ring, and then zoom back out. The focus will be retained. Usually, when the camera cannot focus, one can use the manual focus option. Image settings. ISO speed, still images. The ISO speed refers to the sensitivity of the camera's internal image capture sensor. When operating the camera in the automatic mode, the camera will set the ISO speed. However, there is a button near the top LCD that can be used to control the ISO speed manually. After pressing the button, look for a small scrolling dial which can be incremented or decremented through different possible speeds. If you set the ISO speed manually, then the trick is to understand what settings to use under which weather conditions. For the nighttime or for an interior space with very little light, an ISO of 1600 to 32,000 is appropriate. Be careful of using too high a speed, as the higher speeds result in higher levels of grain within the image. For dim evenings or for cloudy days, an ISO of 400 to 1600 is appropriate. Most of the time, you will find yourself capturing great imagery during days with a lot of sunshine, and this will typically require an ISO of anywhere between 100 and 400. Picture styles. DSLR or mirrorless cameras have various picture style options. These styles enable camera person to capture images with slightly different color characteristics and qualities. some common examples of available picture style options include auto. The auto picture style is suitable for general purpose image capture. Images are crisp, sharp, and rich. These qualities are especially useful in outdoor photography. Landscape. Landscape picture style is optimized for the capture of outdoor environments. This picture style enhances the green and blue colors, and this helps the sky and the greens to stand out. And then there's also neutral. Neutral picture style does not enhance colors of the image. The neutral picture style offers a neutral exposure. The flat exposure allows advanced users the freedom to enhance the images exactly how they want in post-production. And portrait. The portrait picture style was designed for taking close-ups of people. The style produces pleasant skin tones and soft textures, which is suitable for portraits. And monochrome. The monochrome picture style creates black and white images.